If you're looking for a truck that's tougher than the sole of a cowboy's boot and is a great candidate for a custom build, I can tell you there are many to choose from, but only one tops the list, and that would be the NBS Chevy. And this is why I think it is the best truck ever built. So right about now, you may be thinking about how there are many other great old trucks that were made and questioning why I think this particular model is superior. Well, you should know, I looked at this from several different points, including styling, original equipment, fan base, aftermarket support, maintenance, reliability, and cost. So with that being said, you can start to get a picture on how I came to my conclusion on these trucks. With over 2 decades in the custom truck scene, I have become very familiar with many truck models and have even had my time behind the wheel of them. Honestly, I love them all, but that's not what this video is about. To be clear here, I was looking for the most well-rounded truck across the field, and I did quite a bit of research asking many friends in the truck scene, and all points lead to the NBS Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra. So why not a Ford, a Dodge, or a C10, or even an OBS Chevy truck? Well, there are many great trucks like the bump side and dent side Fords, but they are a lot older and really not something suited for regular use, unless you do a lot of work on them. If you look at the later F-150s of the 80s to the 2000s, they are better, but they don't have everything NBS Chevys offer. On the Dodge side, there are some great trucks as well, but for some reason they have a smaller fan base and support system. Now, don't get me wrong here, as I'm not knocking these trucks or their fans. They just don't have the power in numbers, which can mean a lot in all of this. As far as other classic GM trucks are concerned, C10s are definitely head turners and the hottest of them all. But good luck finding a decent driving C10 for cheap. Even in pristine restored condition, old Chevys are not as comfortable to use, and like F100s, they'll require modern aftermarket parts to meet our standards of today. On the subject, OBS Chevy trucks are also a hot ticket, but again, they had a lot of older equipment that is playing obsolete technology these days. Now, I have brought up a few abbreviations like OBS and NBS, but what do they mean exactly? Well, OBS is short for old body style, and from what I gathered, it started with diesel fans describing Ford trucks from the 1990s, which is a bit different of a community from the lowered OBS Chevy enthusiasts. For some reason, somehow, someone started calling 88 to 98 GM full-size pickups OBS trucks. That must have happened in the early 2000s, but I didn't hear the term until the mid-2010s. I mean, up until that point, many of us called them CK trucks. So yeah, it's a bit interesting. Anyways, it only makes sense that the 99 to 07 GMT 800 truck generation that came out after is known as the NBS, or new body style. This started with what we call the round die, which describes the headlights on these trucks, but the real crowd pleasers are the 03 to 07 Chevy trucks with cat-eye shaped headlights. Let's also note that NBS trucks were offered in 99 to 06, and the leftover units were sold in 2007 under the name Silverado Classic. And the designations did not stop there, as the 07 to 13 GMT 900 pickups are called NNBS, which to me sounds absurd. New body style? Ha! The funny thing is this naming doesn't stand the test of time, as these trucks are no longer made and are definitely not new. At least the name stopped there, as NNBS will be just a completely bonkers name. Nonetheless, if you know more about how this naming came to be, feel free to drop a comment because I want to know. Well, moving on back to NBS trucks, I think they came at a sweet spot in automotive history. Engineering was getting better at making safer and more reliable vehicles. Also, efficiency was a concern for decades, and engine management systems were finally becoming more refined. On a related note, electronics were also progressing, but high-tech was not a thing yet. Call me old school, but I don't like where things are going with tech in vehicles. Yes, I like a Bluetooth-controlled stereo, but I don't like complicated onboard electronics. My wife has a newish BMW, and the thing doesn't even have a dipstick for checking oil. The car measures it electronically, which is a pain. It also worries me that the system could go out, creating more complications in the future. To me, some things are just meant to be done manually. As you see, I like things simple, and old trucks fit the bill here. I also think NBS Chevys were the last of these trucks. In fact, I had an 07 Silverado Classic, and it was the best vehicle I have ever owned. It drove excellent and was super easy to work on. I obviously did all the maintenance, and I even lowered it in my driveway using just a few hand tools. This just goes to prove that these trucks were also perfect for those on a budget. Since these trucks were plentiful and a hit with enthusiasts, replacement parts are pretty easy to find. This is key for older trucks as things break from age and use. This was a big discussion in my last video when I also stated that I had an issue replacing some interior parts. And unfortunately, I do believe this is still a little bit of a problem. Thankfully, you can still find these trucks in junkyards and can source parts there if you are really in need. Speaking of parts, NBS trucks had some great equipment on them. This goes especially for what was under the hood. Though there was a V6 option, most opted for the 4.8 liter or 5.3 liter engine. And this was not just any engine either. These trucks came with the legendary LS engine that revolutionized the high-performance market. So why is the LS such a great engine? Well, in a nutshell, it's an updated version of GM's great small block engine, and these newer ones boast around 300 horsepower in a decent-sized package. Since LS engines are plentiful, there are numerous parts to boost their power if that's what you desire. What I like most about them is that they are well engineered to idle smooth and can actually be a bit efficient in stock form. You can also check out a video I did on these engines by clicking the link in the description. Anyways, taking things even further on the LS family tree, the special edition 03 to 06 Silverado SS came with a 6-liter LQ9 engine that had 345 horsepower and 380 torque. These trucks were so much more too, as they had a performance-tuned lowered suspension and exclusive exterior body kit. The Silverado SS was the highlight of the GMT 800 platform, as they were factory-built modern sport trucks. For those with heavy hauling needs, the HD models had some other engine options. The first of which was an 8.1 liter big block known as the Vortec 8100, which had 340 horsepower and 450 torque and was the last of its kind. For those that prefer diesel, these trucks were also available with powerful Duramax engines that were packaged with Allison transmissions. This combo is not only powerful, but pretty darn reliable as well. I've heard of these engines going on for like 500,000 miles with regular maintenance. Talk about longevity. Now, the engine options were a big selling point on these trucks, but the suspension on these trucks is another engineering marvel. First of all, these trucks all came equipped with rack and pinion steering, which is far superior to the previously used steering boxes with attached linkage. The modern systems have much better precision and response to inputs. The difference is night and day and makes your driving experience effortless. On top of this, the front independent suspension was also very well designed. You can easily drop them with the use of lowered springs and spindles, or even a set of control arms if that's your preferred method. In the back is a set of leaf springs that can be combined with shackles, an axle flip kit, or they can even be replaced with drop leaves for cheap lowering. What I think is the best part of the suspension is how easy it is to perform an alignment. The front upper control arms are mounted with cam bolts that allow you to easily adjust the camber and caster. And for toe in or out adjustments, you can easily unlock and rotate the tie rod ends of the steering to suit your needs. The simplicity of this is just another reason why these trucks are so great. Now, if you want to go even further with a drop, you are in luck these days, as my friends at QA1 just released a complete handling kit for NBS trucks at the 2025 SEMA show. These handling kits are completely bolt-on and can be done with simple hand tools, making it great for DIYers. This kit features a full suspension swap including control arms, spindles, coilovers, sway bars, and a rear link system for improved traction. QA1 system even delivers up to a 5-inch front and 7-inch rear drop while providing the ultimate comfort and cornering capabilities. But for those that want to get buried into the weeds, installing airbags will get you there. Unfortunately, this is an extreme modification for very experienced builders, as welding is required. For those that are skilled and up for the task, my longtime friend Keith Sawyer of Infamous Metal Fab has an air ride kit that includes control arms and a steering kit for the front and a 3-link for the rear, along with airbag mounts to complete the transformation. If you want to go all out and have a big budget, Fat Fabs does sell a complete bag chassis. This will set you back around $12,000 to $15,000, so yeah, it's not a cheap deal. Anyways, I would also like to note that in order to go low over big wheels, you will have to modify the wheel wells and install numerous other compressed air components that'll work in combination with an aftermarket air management system. Given all of this, you can really see why I think NBS trucks are the best. And if all of this tickles your fancy, you may already be on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace searching to buy one of these great trucks. Though, I can also tell you from experience, there are some deals out there, but you can expect to pay around $5,000 to $8,000 on a decent truck that has probably racked up some mileage. If you're in the market for one, you should also know about a few common problems on them that will help guide you on finding the perfect project truck. The biggest of the issues comes from the 4L60 transmission, as it can go out as early as 100,000 miles. It doesn't like the heat and strain from a heavy load, and they often fail under pressure. Other issues include faulty gauges that stop working over time, steering column bearings that go out, fuel pumps that fail easily, and on some engines, the NOx sensors go out from water that can build up around them. So yes, every truck does have its issues, but I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons on NBS Chevy Silverados and GMC Sierras. Honestly, I think these trucks are a real bargain these days for what you get, and they have so much potential. They are also just becoming classic, and I believe they will be the next big thing in the lower truck scene. My suggestion is to pick one up now before values start to skyrocket like they did for OBS Chevy trucks. So let that be a lesson to all of us. Well, that just about does it for this video, and we thank you for watching it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a future video, and we will catch you next time.